Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem HaRachakodash. Say double honors to our apostles and elders here at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully leg. So when we was at camp yesterday, one of the brothers had said that we were on the topic of people willfully being ignorant or whatever the case is. And the brother in the camp, Izar, he said that at one point, somebody told him, I'm not going to prepare myself when I see something that's going to happen. I'm just going to let it happen. And then that way we all get swooped in together. I don't want to be the only one that's prepared. And man, I was laughing because it's funny. It's funny. And that mindset, it actually expands all the way to even in this truth. And what it is it's this mindset of wanting to be like accepted. Jake too afraid to stand out. Jake scared to be holy. Jake scared to be separate. The dude basically said, if I see the flood coming, I'm not gonna prepare myself unless we all preparing. So I'm not gonna be the only one. So I'm just gonna wait till the flood come, and then it'll take us all out together. I don't want to be the only one. You know what that means, man? That just that fear of being holy and being isolated and separated as the Lord told us to be, just transcends, man. It kind of just goes furthermore into just everything in life. Everybody's just gonna go with the flow of the world and what everybody else is doing because they don't, I don't want to think for myself. I just want to follow what everybody else is doing. So if everybody else is doing it, then I just want to do it. I'm not going to try to reason with myself if it's right or wrong. I'm just going to go with the masses, and I'm going to go with the public. Well, the Lord said that you are not to do that. And what we're flat out just going to tell you is that in the end, you will be destroyed because of that, because you don't want to be separate. You don't want to be holy. Multitude. Book of Exodus 23:2, it says, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many, to wrest judgment. You know what that means? Oops. What is NLT? You must not follow the crowd in doing wrong. When you are called to testify in a dispute, you do not be swayed by the crowd to twist justice, right? It's going to ultimately end in your demise to say that or to think that way. Well, yeah, if I know something coming, I'm not going to prepare myself unless we all doing it. So I'm just going to wait till the danger hit, and then we all get taken out together. Hey, that reminds me of that guy who was a military, right? When they brought the jab, you can go look it up, right? I'm sure he's still on YouTube, but he had his military physique on or whatever it is. He said, hey, y'all, they talking about some Jackson taking the jab, man. I ain't doing that. I ain't taking that. And then literally the next video, he goes and says, man, tell me why they saying that I could face a demotion. Basically, his money was going to get low. He like, man, look, man, all I got to say is, man, I got a family, man. And I guess we just going to all be zombies together. So, and he's not the only one that's like that. I remember, because I was actually working in the hospital when all this happened. Before, when it was just talked about in China and all these other places, before it hit here, I remember working with this lady, and she was just like, oh, it's just a cold. People make a big deal out of stuff, this and that and that and this. Man, they brought and she was like, oh, whatever, just get over it, whatever. Man, it came over here, and next thing you know, she was first in line to go get it, simply just because everybody else was doing it. And she's a woman, so that's what they do. And when something like that happens, like with the pandemic, what gets majority of the people on board is simply due to peer pressure. Everybody's looking at the next person's continence, and really they don't know what to do. So they're looking at everybody else and they're saying, so what are we doing, y'all? We taking it? We going? Basically I'm just going to follow the multitude because I'm too afraid to think for myself. What that just means is it's a lack of faith. Your faith is going to keep you grounded in stability and your mental thoughts is going to be sure, like, no, I'm not with this. It is what it is. But people who don't have faith are going to go either out of fear and just out of everybody else. So really everybody else is just saying, well, look, everybody else is doing it, so I'm going to do it. I don't want to. And many went to do it just so that they won't be the only one in the room without one. Just so they can say, hey, man, are you vaccinated? Yeah, I'm vaccinated. Yep, well, yeah. And it's because of that simple mindset. It's what's going to get you destroyed, because when they bring that microchip, it's going to be the same deal. And many of you are going to just take it because you don't want to have faith. And you're just going with that attitude. I'm not going to be the only one that ain't going. I'm going to go along with everybody. So then if we all get taken out, then I guess we all get taken out. Simpletons, man. That's a foolish like mentality. But that is in the mind of our people today. And it transcends all the way into this truth too. These Israelite groups, they on the same boat. Believe me. We ain't gonna teach what Deuteronomy 22 verse 28 talks about, the law on grape. We ain't gonna teach that because we ain't about to get lumped in with Great Millstone. We don't want to be isolated. We don't want to be rebuked by other camps. We want to be liked and respected. So we're going to keep a PC and attitude, and we just not going to break it down. We just not going to talk about it. We don't want to be the only ones isolated. Or, yeah, we're not going to rebuke this doctrine or correct this doctrine because we don't want to be the only ones we don't want to be lumped in like with Great Millstone. We don't want to be seen like when we teach the mark of the beast as Chip that we attacking other people's doctrine. We just going to respect everybody's views to go along to get along. It's that same attitude, and it's going to get you destroyed, man. The book of Proverbs 22:3 says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Prudent is the wise man. You foresee the evil and you prepare. But like the nigga told, like I said, the brother, I'm not going to prepare for something if I see it's coming. I'm just going to wait till it hit, and then we all going to get taken out together because I don't want to be the only one preparing. He's a fool. But like I said, it transcends over into this truth for people who call themselves Israelites, man. The book of Isaiah 59:14. And judgment is turned backward, and justice standeth afar off. For truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter. Yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Lord Yahweh saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. And he saw that there was no man, and wondered that there was no intercessor. Therefore his arm brought salvation unto him, and his righteousness it sustained him. So Yahweh Shah is always looking on the earth to see who's willing to stand up for what's right and to say that which is right. Many get offended because of this, because the Lord called us to be holy, to be separate. But once Israel figured out that they have to be separate, they got a problem. Like that guy Ringo TV. He said, once I realized that it's because I'm calling myself an Israelite that I'm missing out on opportunities, I'm just not going to say it no more. That way you can't target me. You can't distinguish against me. Basically, I want to just be accepted in the world, man. I don't want to be holy. I don't want to be separate. So I'm just going to say what the world wants me to say. And then what did he do? He just went back to Christianity. I know what to get me back, win favor with the world. I'll just go back to teaching what the world teaches. Israelites is a hate group. Oh, God loves everybody. Oh, you guys don't know what love is. He's doing that because he's afraid to be separate. He's afraid to be holy. Yeah, man. That's why these Israelites won't teach 100% truth, because then they have to be separate. They don't want to be separate. Well, we don't want to say nothing. And if you're one of those Israelites that got that attitude, well, look, I just don't think any type of correction towards any group. I just think we should just support. Doesn't matter what they teach. I'm not going to correct the doctrine. I'm going to show love my way, and my way of showing love is just to keep my mouth sealed. I'm just not into correcting doctrines and reproof. Then look, man, you are not the man for the job. Right? Why don't you just go join one of those Israelite groups, and you guys can just live it up in your hypocrisy. Well, the Lord already called Jake out. He said what? Jake makes lies their refuge. That's Jake closing their ears like a child. I don't want to hear what you got to say, so I'm going to close my ears. Nah, 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 nah. I don't hear you. I'm just going to make lies my refuge because I'm going along with the masses. Bulk of the Israelite groups, they don't teach the mark of the beast of chip. I know the mark of the beast of chip, but I ain't going to say nothing, no, because then I can offend, and I don't want to be isolated. I don't want to be separated. I don't want to be looked at funny. So I'm just going to pretend like it don't matter, and I'm going to take away from the word just so I can meet up with my homies and my brothers in that camp. Those my brothers. So that's Israel, man. They just love lies. And only if they see, they just go along with the masses. Whatever the masses say, they gonna do. The book of 1 Samuel chapter 8. Verse 4. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. That's what Israel wanted. Why did Israel want a king? Because we want to be like the heathen. We the only people that don't got a king. We want to be like them. And what did they say? 1 Samuel 8, after he broke it down to them. 19. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, Nay, but we will have a king over us, that we may also be like the nations, and that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. See? That's Israel. We want to be like the other nations. I don't want to be an Israelite no more. I'm getting singled out. I'm going to go back into the world. I want to be accepted. I don't want to be isolated. We're not going to teach the mark of the beast as the chip. We're not going to push it. We're going to teach it one time and then just bury it because it upsets other brothers from other camps. We're not going to acknowledge the law in Deuteronomy 22:20. Israel made it. I guess we just all agree. We just going to pretend like that's not there. We're not going to deal with it. And I'm not going to teach it neither, even though I understand it, because then I'm going to get lumped in with them great millstone guys. And I don't want that to happen. So we just not going to address it. Look, man, this is why it's going to ultimately lead you to all taking the chip, because you got that mindset of, I'm going to follow the multitude. So if the multitude do it, then I guess we all going to be taking the chip there. That's what these Jakes going to do. Because, that's what the people in the world going to do. That's what they're going to do. They're just going to look at what everybody else is doing and just follow along. They don't care that they got duped, that they've been bamboozled, hoodwinked when it came to that jab. Everybody's just walking around pretending like that didn't happen. They don't want to stop and think like, man, I just compromised myself out of fear. And then they're just like, yeah, well, if it happens again, I'm going to go with what everybody else is going to do again. These people don't got faith. They lack faith. And it's going to ultimately lead to their destruction. It will, as Proverbs 1:30 say, they would none of my counsel, they would despise all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. So you see what's going to happen to you guys out there? I don't want to call myself an Israelite because it's in a bad light, and I'll only teach it if it's worldly accepted. I don't want to be separated from the world. You know how many people I done met across that run across that's like that? You know how many people that I actually know that's just so overly concerned about the perception of other people and how other people view them, because they're just so concerned about what other people think. So when it comes time to call something out, I ain't gonna call it out, man. I want to be respected and liked. So that, you do it, I'm not gonna do it. I'm like, okay, but it's the truth. Who cares what they like or not? Yeah, well, I don't want to ruffle no feathers. Look, Yahweh Shai is looking for men who's going to go out and stand before this world, call out the hypocrisies, and speak the truth. Speak the truth. But you want to follow the masses? I don't agree with it, but I'm gonna go with it because I ain't about to be the only one that ain't that ain't got the jab. I ain't about to be the only one that ain't got the chip. If we all go down, I guess we gonna all go down together. Let's read that in the NLT. It says, "For simpletons turn away from me to death. Fools are destroyed by their own complacency." Yeah, it says, for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Let's look up that word prosperity. Hebrew word shalana. It says quietness, ease. Yeah, quietness. Well, I'm just gonna follow the masses, and then I don't have to worry about nothing. Everybody else doing it, so I'm doing it. Right? It says, well, for that, you taking the easy way, the easy route, is gonna lead to your destruction. Okay? Verse 33, "But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from the fear of evil. As is written, the prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the fool pass on and is destroyed." So following the multitude, following the masses, afraid to prepare yourself because you're gonna be the Noah. I don't want to be the Noah. I want to be with the bulk of the people. I don't want to be the only one isolated. I want to follow what the world has to say. I'm not going to teach this breakdown because it's going to upset the people in the world. It's going to upset other Israelites. We're just going to keep our mouths sealed. And that's why you ain't growing in the spirit, because you ain't fooling the Lord. You're ashamed of his doctrine, and you're ashamed to be isolated. You're ashamed to be holy. You're ashamed to be separate. We're supposed to be separate from this world. And a lot of you are ashamed for that. That's why you don't like Great Millstone, simply because, number one, women. That's it. Women have dominion over you, and you can't frame your lips to speak the truth and say, yeah, look, women were created for men, not man and woman. So a man can have more than one wife. Now, Great Millstone, we advise it's best to just have none, really. That's the ultimate route. But one, because trying to do all that extra stuff, we ain't, this is a wicked society. As women don't understand, they're going to get jealous. You're going to stress yourself out. Brothers already tried it. It's best if you really just take one, or ultimately none. But if a brother take more than one, I can't fault him for that. He ain't sinning, just as long as he ain't messing with women who are already married to other, So basically teaching, look, women were created for men. That's the truth. Right? They're not equal. And what's written in the law of Deuteronomy 22, that was written in case if grape was to ever occur, and that's the judgment of the Lord. It is what it is. So you're not going to say that. I'm not going to say that, because that upsets the world. That upsets the masses. And I choose to win favor of court of public opinion. So I'm going to pervert the gospel. And you know what? I'm just not going to teach this breakdown because I don't want to correct my brother when he going off on a breakdown. I just want to be silent. And I just think we should just let all the Israelite groups do what they do, even though it's completely breaking the commandments. So they want to join with Islam and all this stuff. We ain't going to say, no, look, man, you're not the man for the job. And you're turning away of the simple will slay you. You got the same mentality of these people in this world. I ain't going to prepare myself. I don't want to be holy. I don't want to be separate, because then it's me against the world. No, so I'm just going to do what the world has to say. Oh, we going to be destroyed? Well, then I guess we all going to be destroyed. No, it ain't going to be we going to be destroyed. It's going to be you joining your lot, because you're casting your lot with the world. So you're going to be destroyed. But those who took heed and prepared themselves did what? Are going to be protected, as Yahushua said. Just because somebody called himself an Israelite don't necessarily mean they're doing, and they know what the Lord's doing, don't necessarily mean they have it in them to complete it. Luke 12:37. Blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. For verily I say unto you, he shall gird himself and make them sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them. No, that's not. I believe this is the chapter. Nah, where it just says beaten with many stripes. Yeah, that's it. 47. And that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him much is required, and to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. Right. So you got some who know the Lord's will, but they won't prepare themselves. I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to be the only one. I don't want to be holy. Just like what Israel said, we don't want to be the only people that ain't got no king over us. We don't want to be holy. We want to be separate. We want to be like everybody else. And we've been in captivity ever since, trying to do things the way that the heathen nations do. Read the book of Kings. Majority of the southern kingdom kings were all wicked. Only a handful of righteous, and all of the northern kingdom was wicked. And we all fell, and we've been in captivity ever since because we wanted to do things our way and be like everybody else. So you better learn your history if you call yourself an Israelite and it's true, but you're too afraid to ruffle some feathers. All you gotta do is speak the truth. It ain't like you attacking nobody. Just say, look, there's Israelites that's teaching that there's a hell doctrine that's incorrect. There is no hell doctrine. Precept, precept, precept. Bang. If you ain't got it in you, you do that, then you're just simply not the man for the job. All right? Shalom.